All right. Welcome, everybody. And thank you for being here today. Today, we're talking about ROI, or return on investment, not just in dollars, but in your time, your energy, and your focus. SecurityX isn't an entry point, it's a next level move. It's an investment designed to pay off exponentially more in opportunity, income, and career momentum. And if you're here today, you're already on the right track. We may even recommend some strong foundational steps to make sure that you're fully ready to maximize SecurityX. Let's explore why this certification can be a powerful upgrade to your cybersecurity career. Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Reed, and I want to personally welcome you to today's SecurityX return on investment session. If this is your first time joining me, I've been training in cybersecurity for over 25 years. I've helped more than 60,000 students launch or level up their careers. I've earned just about every major certification in the field, from foundational ones like Security Plus and CEH, to more advanced credentials like CISSP, CHFI, CASP, which is now the new SecurityX. This session is built to give you clarity: what SecurityX is, how it fits into your journey, and most importantly, what kind of return can you expect from this type of investment. If you're aiming for a long-term career in cybersecurity, you're definitely in the right place. And we're going to make this time well worth it. So let's get started. Before we dive in, here's a quick roadmap of what we'll be covering today. We'll start with the big question: what is SecurityX? And just as important, why it is worth your time and energy. We'll break down the return on investment, what kind of expectations you have, what kind of return you can expect, by investing in this advanced certification. Next, we'll look at the real world side: job roles, salary potential, and how SecurityX aligns with leadership level opportunities. We'll also go inside the exam: what you can expect and how to prepare effectively without wasting your time and energy. I'll share how we approach training, and I'll help you decide which path is right for you, especially if you're coming in from Security Plus or CEH. Finally, we'll talk about career growth, job security, and the unique training advantages you'll get here with us. Whether you're looking to lead, consult, or command your next move, this presentation is designed to help you make the smartest possible decision for your career. So let's get into it. So what exactly is SecurityX, formerly known as CASP, CompTIA Advanced Security Professional, and where does it fit into your career path? SecurityX, as I mentioned, is the successor to CASP. CASP gained widespread recognition for certifying individuals with multiple years of security experience. That being said, it's not meant to be a beginner level course. It's designed for experienced professionals who are ready to lead, architect, and make real decisions in high stakes cybersecurity environments. If Security Plus gives you the foundation and CEH sharpens your offensive edge, SecurityX is where it all comes together in one powerful, real-world leadership capstone. It maps directly to Department of Defense 8140 and 8570 roles, making it a go-to for anyone working in government, DoD, or federal contracts. But it's not just about compliance. SecurityX covers advanced topics: enterprise security architecture, risk and resilience planning, technical leadership, and hands-on threat mitigation at the organizational level. This is for the person who's no longer asking, how do I do the job? But instead, how do I lead the team, build the policy, and shape the future of cybersecurity inside my organization? If you've completed Security Plus and CEH, and you're on your road to CISSP, SecurityX is an excellent bridge. It's the perfect capstone to round out your technical foundation with the leadership and strategy you'll need to operate at the highest levels of this industry. So if you're serious about moving up, SecurityX is where it gets real. So why choose SecurityX? What sets it apart from the dozens of other certifications out there? It comes down really to four things, and they all tie back to real-world value. First, SecurityX is built for real-world decision-making, not just theory or terminology, but the kind of choices you'll face as a cybersecurity leader. When you're the one that has to design the response plan, manage the fallout, and brief executives, this is the kind of knowledge that keeps you sharp and credible. Second, SecurityX gives you a strategic edge. Most certifications stop at technical skill sets, but SecurityX elevates you to the next level, where you're not just implementing security, you're shaping the strategy behind it. This is how you become the go-to person in the room, the one trusted to lead, not just follow instructions. Third, it's designed specifically for mission-critical roles. These are positions where mistakes can have real consequences in government, Department of Defense, and enterprise security operations. SecurityX prepares you for those roles with advanced training in areas like risk tolerance, policy development, and enterprise-scale security controls. And finally, SecurityX bridges the gap between theory and action. You're not just reading about frameworks, you're actually applying them. You're making connections between what you know and what the mission actually requires. If Security Plus is where you start, and CEH gives you the hands-on offense, SecurityX is where you now become the decision maker. That's the why. Now let's talk about what you get in return. Let's talk about what makes SecurityX worth your investment, and that's exactly what it is. It's not an expense, it's an investment. This isn't just another certification. SecurityX is a strategic elevation for those who've already laid the foundation with certs like Security Plus, CEH, or CYSA Plus. It's the certification that tells employers you're not just skilled, you're actually ready to lead. It qualifies you for executive track paths towards certifications like CISSP or CISM and roles with real strategic influence. It amplifies your existing credentials. SecurityX doesn't replace Security Plus or CEH, it multiplies their value by building on them with applied, real-world decision-making. It's also built for the federal space. If you're working in or aiming for DoD, SecurityX meets 8140 requirements for senior-level job roles. Now, this often completes the same requirements that you'll see in CISSP. Now, we always recommend that eventually you get your CISSP. We generally recommend that as being one of the last certifications you achieve because of the volume of information and the time frame to prepare. And everything else along the way prepares you for that CISSP. But SecurityX gives you the hands-on implementation that you don't necessarily get in the knowledge-based or theory-based CISSP. And in a crowded field of mid-level certs, this one cuts through the noise. It tells hiring managers and leadership, I'm not just in cybersecurity, I'm ready to drive it forward. That's the return. Not just a cert to hang on the wall, but a tool to unlock your next level. So let's talk about where SecurityX can take you in your career. We are in the middle of massive growth in cybersecurity. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, cybersecurity job demand is expected to grow 32% by 2032. That's not a trend, that's a surge. And it's not just about getting hired. It's about standing out, positioning yourself for leadership, and being seen as someone who brings value at the highest level. SecurityX helps you step confidently into that space. It prepares you for high responsibility roles like risk management lead, zero trust architect, or senior enterprise security advisor. In those jobs, you're not just analyzing alerts or configuring firewalls. You're shaping the entire security strategy. You're helping an organization define its risk tolerance, secure its infrastructure, and lead teams through complex challenges. If your long-term goal is CISSP, SecurityX is your bridge, most definitely. And along the way, it does satisfy those same 8570, 8140 requirements as CISSP. It connects the tactical skills from Security Plus, CEH, or COISA Plus to the strategic leadership mindset, which you will need to succeed at the CISSP level. Think of SecurityX as the proof point that says, I'm not just certified, I'm career ready. I know how to lead projects, communicate risk, and drive change in an organization. With this kind of credential, you don't just ride the wave of growth, you get out in front of it. SecurityX is more than a certification. It's a launch pad into the next decade of your cybersecurity career. Now let's take a look at some specifics. What SecurityX can mean for your earning potential. Again, this isn't just about landing a job. It's about qualifying for roles with serious responsibility and a strong financial upside. A security architect, for example, can earn anywhere from $120,000 to $165,000 per year. That role involves designing and overseeing entire security frameworks for organizations. And SecurityX gives you the tools to operate at that level. Senior security engineers routinely pull in six figures, with salaries ranging from $110,000 to $150,000 per year. These are the hands-on professionals trusted to deploy, maintain, and improve complex security infrastructure. Cybersecurity managers and team leads are right in that same range, between $115,000 and $160,000. These are the people guiding strategy, leading teams, and reporting directly to executive leadership. Risk management analysts who focus on protecting business operations through smart security policies can earn $105,000 to $140,000 per year. This is a perfect match for the leadership and planning that you build in SecurityX. Zero trust engineers are in growing demand. That term you see everywhere these days. Organizations shifting to more modern zero trust models versus the historical castle and moat mentality. These roles average $120,000 to $155,000 annually. And they require exactly the kind of strategic thinking that SecurityX delivers. Even before CISSP, you can qualify for roles that pay between $100,000 and $135,000 or more as a SecurityX certified professional with a pre-CISSP title. Bottom line, SecurityX opens the door to higher level cybersecurity roles that not only pay well, but position you for long-term leadership and growth. Now, the actual exam. Let's take a look at the specifics of the CompTIA Security Plus CAS 005 exam. This is not a lightweight exam. It's not casual, multiple choice only test. It's designed to validate advanced thinking and hands-on decision-making under pressure. You'll have up to 90 questions and 165 minutes to complete the exam. That's just under 3 hours, and trust me, you'll use most of it. The question types include both traditional, multiple choice, and what CompTIA calls performance-based questions, or PBQs. The PBQs are what set these exams apart. They simulate real-world scenarios, things like reviewing logs, hardening a system, making policy decisions, and analyzing what went wrong in a breach response. These are practical, hands-on challenges that test not just what you know, but how you apply it in context. The questions are delivered in random order. Often the PBQs come first, so you'll be diving straight into real-world thinking right away. There's also no actual score, no scaled score, just pass or fail, period. You won't walk away with a number. You walk away with either I certified or I'm ready to take another swing. Now, here's the good news. Retakes are always included in our materials, but they are rarely needed. Our pass rates are almost invariably 100% on the first attempt, with very few exceptions. And to date, at the time of this webinar or this filming, we have never had a student fail the CASP or SecurityX exam, not once. So if you're putting in the effort, we will match it with the right prep and get you to that passing result. I guarantee it, the first time. Okay, there are many ways to skin a cat. So let's take a look at how to prepare for the SecurityX exam. Because how you study for SecurityX can make or break your success. There's no shortage of options out there, but each option comes with trade-offs. Let's break them down. First, there's self-study. This is the lowest cost option. Books, YouTube videos, and free resources online. But it's also the highest risk. You need strong discipline, strong organization, and the ability to identify what is outdated or incomplete. The SecurityX exam isn't just about what you memorize. It's about how well you apply that knowledge in high-level, real-world situations. And that's where self-study almost invariably falls short. Next, we have online video courses. These are pre-recorded lessons that you can watch anytime, anywhere. They're flexible, and for some learners, that flexibility is a really good fit. But you're still on your own. There's usually limited support, if any at all. No one to answer your questions in real time, and no structure to keep you moving. Many students start with video courses, but never finish them. Then there are boot camps, fast-paced, instructor-led training that crams a lot of content into a few days. Boot camps work well if you're already close to exam ready or if you thrive under pressure. But for most students, it's like drinking from a fire hose. you retain a lot less than you think. And then finally, there's our model at Eric Reed Cybersecurity Training. Live mentored training. This is what we offer. It combines the best of all worlds, the structure of a boot camp with the flexibility of on-demand, and wraps it all in real-time personalized support. You'll have access to an instructor you can talk to directly, not a chatbot, not a help ticket, not an email with a 24-hour or more response time. You'll also get hands-on labs that actually simulate what the exam expects. Real-world scenarios designed to reinforce every concept. There's also a community of peers who are learning alongside you, who ask great questions and help you stay engaged and accountable. The bottom line, you don't have to do it alone. SecurityX is a high-level certification, and you deserve high-level preparation. That's what we're here to deliver. All right, so breaking it down in a little bit more detail, let's take a look at which path is right for you. Let's take an objective, clear-eyed look at the different ways you can prepare for SecurityX and what each one really delivers. Self-study is the lowest cost option. Books, blogs, Reddit threads, and YouTube videos. But here is the reality. Many students come to us after wasting 6, 12, or even 18 or more months trying to go it alone. No structure, no feedback, no guarantee that what they're studying is even mapped to the current exam. And when they sit for the test, they invariably miss the mark on the first attempt. They walk away completely deflated. Here's the truth. Doing it yourself sounds great, but it's like trying to remodel your kitchen with a few YouTube videos and a hammer from Home Depot. Sure, it looks cheaper up front, but was it actually worth it? What was the end result? How long did it take? In retrospect, wouldn't you rather hire a contractor with the right tools, a proven process, and a track record of stellar reviews for getting it right the first time, every time? Online video courses are a step up. They give you structure, but often lack support. And don't get me wrong, there are some great online videos out there, but how do you know? Many are outdated, mapped to previous versions. I recently had a student in a CEH class who had attended some online videos. Come to find out, the content was relevant back in 2017. He had no idea. He took the online videos, failed the test horribly, and then came for the full training. In retrospect, he said, "Oh my gosh, I wish I would have found you guys earlier. I spent all this time studying and expending energy only to find out it wasn't relevant to the current exam." So again, there's no guarantees, and worse, there's nobody to even ask about it. Honestly, how would you know? Unless you've already taken the exam, you're just hoping that the course is current. That's not a strategy, that's a gamble. Boot camps. Boot camps can most definitely be effective. Live instruction, fast-paced, and a focused experience. But most boot camps stop short. They don't always include the exam. They should, but not always. They don't always include the retake and rarely offer any sort of post-course support. Boot camp's over, your access to the instructor is done. Our model is based on the benefits and the advantages of a boot camp model, but it's a complete solution. You can choose 5 full days of live or 5 weeks of evening sessions or every Saturday for 5 weeks. And every path includes live instruction, hands-on labs, exam, and retake, although retakes are never needed. And most importantly, real-time access to your instructor, which is always me, always Eric, always direct contact, always available. We'll talk more about how the support hours work here in a later slide. And not just some ticket system. Try back after some time. Send us an email. We'll respond to you. We've taken under advisement. We'll get back to you in 24 hours, which may or may not happen. But most importantly, we don't stop when you pass. Certification is just the beginning. It's the most visible outcome of your training. Did I pass the exam? So we focus on exam preparation first and foremost. We get you certified, we get your confidence up, we get wins in the win column, and we get you marketable. At that point, we'll start addressing the practical applicability of the knowledge base, also look at takeaways, job-specific roles, and how to apply this in the real world. We continue with you long after you've passed the certification exam. We help build your confidence. We also are assisting in your career strategy, your resume writing, tuning to specific job posts, and also some interview coaching. So again, we're with you after the certification. And our guarantee is not we'll give you a second chance, it's you'll pass on the first attempt. There's many organizations out there that offer a pass guarantee, which means we'll give you a retake if you fail. Okay, that is not a success strategy. That's damage control. We're going to set you up to pass on the first attempt. We build results because we don't take chances. This isn't about getting certified, it's about getting ahead. And that's what our model is built for. So the specifics, the Eric Reed Training Advantage. Let's talk about what really sets this program apart. Why exactly do our students pass on the first attempt, land jobs quickly, and stay connected long after class ends? Well, first it starts with experience. I've spent over 25 years training cybersecurity professionals in the military, in government, and across the private sector. I've taken everything I've learned from thousands of students and built it into a system that consistently delivers results. We start with the official materials because that's where you need to be aligned initially. We want to be sure that you're mapping your course materials to the current version of the exam. But we don't stop there. We dramatically enhance the content, clarifying what's vague, filling in what's missing, and connecting every concept to real-world application. It's a proprietary, proven process refined over 25 years to create confidence, clarity, and career readiness. And that's why our students don't just pass, they passed on the first attempt with excellent scores. Now, we always include a retake. It's always there just in case, but I'll be honest, almost never need it. We publish 100% pass rates every week with very few exceptions. Check us out on social media. Do a quick search on LinkedIn for Eric Reed passed on the first attempt. You'll find dozens of testimonials. Now, while you're at it, try to find someone who took our training who didn't pass their exam. Pretty difficult. I will give you $1,000 off your training if you can find a non-success story. It just doesn't happen. We set the bar correctly. We ensure that you meet your metrics. We ensure that pass on the first attempt. We don't focus on backup plans. Our philosophy is we're going to get it right the first time. Not train you to fail, but train you to finish strong. And here's something else to know. Your instructor is always me. There's a lot of training volume these days outsourced to other locations outside of the United States. The price point is dramatically lower, but so is the quality. We've had lots of students over the last several years start off with one of these cost-effective overseas solutions only to get frustrated and give up and do it right with us. We have no handoffs, no contractors, no mystery voice on the other end. You'll work directly with me during class, after class, and anytime you need support. Not a chatbot, not a help desk ticket, direct access to your instructor, always, no bait and switch. The mentorship doesn't stop after the test. You'll get coaching on job searching, interview prep, resume building, and long-term career direction. We're not looking to certify you, we're looking to educate you. A holistic cybersecurity education. Your first certifications are just the beginning. The more certifications, the more opportunities, the higher the salary. This training isn't just about passing, it is about launching a real career. And if you're looking to continue on that journey, our new referral system allows you to accumulate training credits for every person you refer. If you play it correctly, you could get your entire cybersecurity education for free through our referral program. See our website for more details on that. It's not just training, it's a career launch system, and I'll be there to guide you every step of the way. All right, let's wrap up by talking about what really matters, the actual outcomes. We've helped thousands of students over the last 25 years achieve exactly what you see here. First-time passes, career launches, and a total shift in confidence and direction. And these aren't just isolated wins. They're patterns, they're the norm, and they're most definitely reproducible. We've seen students come in with no IT background at all. They're unsure, intimidated, and wondering if they even belonged in the cybersecurity world. And just a few months later, they're landing analyst roles, not because the exam was easy, but because they trained the right way. We've worked with veterans transitioning into civilian roles. For all of you veterans, thank you for your service. Career changers starting from scratch, and experienced professionals who just needed a push to break through to the next level. Many of them had tried other routes, self-study, random video courses, training programs with no support, and hit the wall. Then they joined our program and everything changed. They finally had structure, mentorship, and clarity on what to focus on. They passed on the first attempt with high scores. Nothing will bolster your confidence like that initial, I passed the exam, especially on the first attempt. That just sets you up for more successes and more momentum. More importantly, they're also ready to apply what they learned in real-world scenarios, in real-world jobs. And that's what we're really proud of. It's not just the certification, but it's the transformation. I have got the greatest job in the world. First off, I'm a geek. I love computers. I love technology. I get paid to talk about it. What a great job. And then I get to watch other people improve their lives with that transfer of knowledge. Greatest job in the world. Had no idea when I sat my first A+ course years ago that I was going to become an instructor. The whole thing just kind of fell into my lap, and I wake up thanking the world every day. I've got just the greatest position ever. So it's not just certification, it's transformation. We don't just hand you a certificate and wish you luck. We support you as you launch the next chapter in your professional life. These stories are real. They're happening every month, and the next one could be yours. If you're serious about leveling up, you're definitely in the right place, and we're here to help you take the next step. All right, for SecurityX, our upcoming class dates. The next upcoming dates are July 7th through the 11th and October 20th through the 24th. Now, those are Monday through Friday live deliveries from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. delivered through the Zoom platform, which you're using to watch this webinar today. This is a live instructor-led experience, fast-paced, high energy, and fully focused on helping you pass on your very first attempt. You will always be working directly with me in real time, asking questions, getting feedback, staying laser focused on exactly what the exam demands. And here's the best part. If you can't attend live, that's no problem. Every live session is recorded, and you'll have full access to the most recent delivery. This is not the same as canned student recordings for a self-study product that may be a year or multiple years out of date. This is always the latest live delivery with all of the benefits of the instructor access of a live class. So you're always learning from the most current, up-to-date content, not something recorded a year or more ago. That gives you complete flexibility. You can train at your own pace, on your own schedule, while still benefiting from a structured live bootcamp experience with direct instructor access. Still access to me, mentorship, direct support via Zoom, phone, or email before, during, and after class. This isn't like self-study where you're left to figure it out alone, and it's not a traditional boot camp that ends on Friday and disappears. It's a complete system built around your success, supported, flexible, and proven to work. So take a look at the dates, pick one that fits. We'll walk you through registration on the next slide. Our next steps, before we wrap, be sure to keep an eye on your inbox. I'll be sending out at the end of this webinar an email just for attendees of this session. Inside, you'll find a great deal on our next SecurityX class with instructions on how to enroll, claim your seat, and get access to all the tools and support that we talked about today. Now, the normal list price for SecurityX is $29.95. We've got a standard discount and a webinar-only discount. I'll leave the details of that to be disclosed in the email. This includes everything: your complete study plan, practice tests, direct instructor and support, and more. Seats are limited, and they fill up fast. This is your chance to lock in the training, the support, and the results. So check your inbox, and I will hopefully see you in class. All right, we're going to open it up to some Q&A. So if you have a question, please pop that in the questions window, which should be right there in your Zoom interface under Q&A. So I'll be fielding questions from the audience. I've also got some frequently asked questions we'll be taking a look at. So let's open it up. This is your chance to ask anything that's still on your mind, whether it's study strategies, exam tips, choosing the right certification path, or how to structure your prep. I'm here to help you make sense of it all. No question is too basic. And if you're wondering about it, there's a good chance someone else is too. So let's dig in and make sure that you leave today with total clarity on what to do next. All right. So again, drop your questions in the questions window. Difficulty. How hard is the SecurityX exam compared to Security Plus or CEH? CEH is more of a skill set based exam. SecurityX is significantly more advanced because it's meant for higher level roles. It assumes you already understand foundational concepts and focuses on strategic, high level decisions, practical leadership, and real world application. So it's meant for leaders, which typically there's more responsibilities in a leadership role. Also, it's based on 10 years or so of experience in the industry, and it does test accordingly. Prerequisites. Do I have to take any exams before SecurityX? Short answer is no. While it's not a formal requirement, though, I do recommend completing some foundational certs before taking SecurityX. Our general recommendations specifically for marketability and uniform holistic foundation is to start with Security Plus, supplement that with CEH, which gives you the hands-on. From there, you can go to SecurityX. You can also go directly to CISSP. But students preparing for CISSP, we generally recommend that that's the last certification that you attempt. Since by the time you're done with that, you're going to be a little worn out. You're not going to want to take any more exams anytime soon. So if you don't already have a solid base, you're going to spend a little time playing catch up. Is there heavy memorization on this exam? Every exam has a degree of rote memorization. So it's sometimes memorizing port numbers, sometimes memorizing protocol IDs. So there's a bit of it. But this exam is really focused on how you think through a problem and your solution more than recalling terminology. So it's more scenario based than what does, SSL port number run on or whatever. All right, if you can't make the live sessions, so there's a couple options. These days, self-study is pretty popular because of the flexibility. The biggest drawbacks with self-study, though, is you don't have access to the instructor. Really not a lot of direction. So our solution gives you the best of both worlds. If you can't attend the live sessions, you can view the recordings on your schedule. Now, we do recommend that you set a structured schedule. Our recommendations are 2 nights a week, Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, from like 6 to 9:30 p.m., or every Saturday for 5 weeks. You'll still have direct access to me during support hours for any questions or any clarifications. So best of both worlds and the drawbacks of neither. A live instructor-led course taken on your schedule as time permits. All right, what's included with the course? Everything. Our solutions are always all-inclusive. Now, some vendors these days, you'll go out to the site and they list everything kind of a la carte. Here's the training session, here's the courseware, here's the labs. Hey, if you want physical books, you can do that too. Oh, by the way, the exam's not included, here it is. Oh, by the way, the retake's not included, here it is. We cover everything in one comprehensive package. It's always all-inclusive: materials, labs, instructor access, live training, full exam prep, vouchers, and retakes if necessary. We almost never need retake vouchers. So all inclusive. All right, how long should I expect to study before taking the exam? Okay, a little bit of background. A true certification boot camp, you would go away somewhere, get holed up in a hotel for like 5 days and live and breathe this stuff, and then take your exam on Friday. Most boot camps these days are not a remote destination, but they're highly concentrated. So in those models, we would train students to pass the exam on Friday afternoon after 5 days of training. That's still possible. Our training is modeled after boot camps for the original initial delivery because it's the most effective with getting you certified. And that's our first priority, but again, it doesn't stop there. So you can actually get prepped to pass the exam in as few as 5 days. Most students will take into the following week. So it's generally 1 to 2 weeks for students that take the 5-day camp, and then students that are taking it on a more extended schedule, 2 nights a week or every Saturday, they'll typically complete it after the 5 weeks. Since there's additional time built in there for the additional exam prep, they're usually ready to go right at the end of the structured sessions. So it depends on the solution that you choose. It also depends on your completing all of the 10 individual sessions. So generally speaking, the week of delivery, a couple days after, or at the end of a more extended format. And that's all based on your numbers, or you're hitting your passing metrics on your exam prep components. And the numbers don't lie. Students that are hitting their performance metrics pass on the first attempt invariably. Good questions. Is SecurityX mapped to the 8140? Yes. SecurityX is actually the successor to CASP Plus. It satisfies the same DoD 8140 8570 requirements as CASP plus its predecessor did. It's also an alternative for CISSP, which actually qualifies or satisfies the same requirements, but without a doubt, CISSP is still a certification that you want to look at. It's just typically a longer prep. We call CISSP training for a marathon versus training for sprints with other certifications. Good questions. All right, what is the format of the exam? There's PBQs or performance-based questions, and then it's multiple choice. Those multiple choice are either single select or select all that applies. And again, with SecurityX, it's more scenario-based. They want to test your analytical thinking and your application of the knowledge versus just reciting port numbers, protocol IDs, etc. The exam is up to 90 questions. Now, sometimes you'll see different numbers of questions for different students, but it's up to 90 questions in 165 minutes and no actual passing score, just pass or fail. What if I fail? You probably won't. I've been doing this a really long time, and we set you up to succeed the first time. So if you're hitting your performance metrics, you're going to pass. Rarely do we see a student not pass, and usually it's a case of test anxiety, something like that. But any way you slice it, we do have you covered. Retakes are always included, but rarely necessary. We're going to just set you up to pass in the first attempt because nobody wants to have to sit for an exam again. It's a waste of time. All right, the job roles. So we went over a couple examples. It's generally higher level managerial slash technical type of roles, security architect, risk management, zero trust engineer, senior security engineer, a lot of equivalents to kind of the CISSP job categories. All right, typically higher paying, more strategic positions. Is SecurityX good for people who are already working in cybersecurity? Absolutely. Certifications will always work in your favor. They can never hurt. Now, there's a lot of overlap between certification and exam objectives these days, to the point where you'll see the same common core information across 5 or 6 exams. But every vendor is a little bit different. So the credentials will always certify that you've set out to complete an objective and that you've mastered the knowledge base specific to that certification. So if you're already in cybersecurity, it helps backfill knowledge gaps. It also sets you up for advancement for roles that require certifications. So a couple things. Certifications to a newcomer can get you in the door. Certifications to an existing security professional can open doors to other opportunities that you may not currently have access to. It also demonstrates discipline and the ability to set a goal and achieve it. And more knowledge never hurts. All right, how is this different from other boot camps? Well, a boot camp proper is you're sequestered in a hotel somewhere, you've left your family, you're off in a remote location, locked in a room for 8, 10 hours a day, and then you take an exam. That these days, since the pandemic, we really haven't gotten back to live boot camps. And they're also inconvenient. You're away from your life for a week. So it has all the benefits of a traditional boot camp. If you follow the structure, it's a concentrated delivery. The exam prep is second to none. I am so obsessive about my exam prep, it's almost pathological. I always update it every week. I debrief with every student after every exam. Did you see anything we didn't cover? And it gets updated accordingly. So if you know that material, you're going to be in really good shape for the exam. So it's different in the fact that it provides that concentration, that boot camp format, but all the additional benefits, the flexibility, the ability to attend offline on your schedule, which is still instructor-led training, It's just watching the videos at a later time. We also provide ongoing career support and mentoring. If you have questions about anything, I'm always available. A boot camp that you sign up for a week, you're not going to have access to that instructor after that boot camp, guaranteed. So our whole thing is long-term student relationships. Would also like to see you get a full security education versus just a single certification. And once you've seen how easily it can be done with a minimum level of expended energy unnecessarily, that kind of lights the fire for achieving more certifications. And again, it's always me, always direct access. The next question, exactly that. Will I have direct access to you? Yes. So here's typically how it goes. A normal class day for me starts at 10 a.m. Eastern and ends at 6 p.m. Eastern. We do the first hour and a half of lecture, and then it's labs or exam prep for 2 hours. We take lunch. We do the same thing in the afternoon. So I'm always available between 11:30 and 1:30 p.m. Eastern time by phone, and again between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern, guaranteed accessibility live support hours. I'm also available for those students attending in the evening sessions between 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So those are our published support hours where I'm guaranteed to be available by phone. However, if the phone rings, I'm going to answer it. Now, my wife will kind of look at me funny if it's after 10 p.m. Like, are you really going to answer that? Probably. And Saturdays, it's all fine. If the phone rings, I'm going to answer it. If I am not available, I'm teaching, I'll get right back to you. Ask any of my students, I'm highly available. And it is always me directly. Zoom, phone, or email. Guarantee it. Yes. Can I use credentialing assistance or Air Force Cool to pay for this? Absolutely. We do a ton of credentialing assistance and Air Force Cool training. And actually, there's a preferred military rate, which this can be covered with your Army CA assistant for your current fiscal year, or most definitely Air Force Cool. So get with us one-on-one. We'll get your funding started, get your application started, and get you registered in AF Cool or Army credentialing. We also provide various types of unit training. We're also on the GSA schedule. Absolutely. How can I sign up? Well, you're going to be you're going to be getting an email here in about the next 7 minutes or so with instructions and next steps, and we've got a special webinar discount. So again, normally this retails at $29.95 all inclusive. We're going to give you a great deal on it for those attending the webinar today. I'm not going to disclose that because it's meant for live webinar attendees, and this webinar recording will be available, but we're only extending the promotional discount for those who have taken the live webinar. So that's coming your way here shortly. Good question. You're welcome. Yeah, definitely. So thanks. It's been informative. Absolutely my pleasure. I hope to see you in our next class. All right, I think that's everything. Any other questions before we wrap up? The sessions are, the question is, how are the sessions delivered? It's delivered through normal Zoom meetings. We're using Zoom webinar right now, which doesn't allow for direct interaction, but the actual Zoom meetings themselves are completely interactive. Okay, video, audio, chat window based. Absolutely. And yes, they are all recorded. All right, I think that's it. So thanks everyone again for joining me today. Sorry, my voice is a little bit strained today for some reason. So thanks for bearing with me. If you're serious about advancing your career, if you're ready to step into leadership, if you're ready to earn more, be seen as a strategic cybersecurity professional, SecurityX is definitely a good move. The industry needs people like you, not just checkbox certifications, but confident professionals who know how to think, lead, and solve problems. So you've seen our roadmap. Do your research. Please, I invite you to do your due diligence. Do some Google searching for Eric Reed cybersecurity training. Do a search on LinkedIn for Eric Reed passed on the first attempt testimonials. You'll find plenty of corroboration. So don't take my word for it, do your research. When you're ready to succeed the first time, come on back. We'll definitely get you there. If you've had a less than optimal experience with a self-study or another vendor, we actually have what's called reboot camp options. We'll get it right, guaranteed, get you back on the path to success. So go ahead and pick a date, get enrolled. Let's make this happen. I look forward to seeing you in class, and thanks again, everyone, for taking time out of your day to talk SecurityX with Eric. Have a great rest of your day.